Hello, and welcome back to my 7-part documentary on the making of The Hitchhiker's Guide to Vana'diel. In these short documentaries, I wish to outline some of the techniques I used to evolve the film, as well as the history behind the project. In this section, I'll be going over the animation that appears within the guide scenes of the movie. From the very beginning, I wanted to use a similar style as the guide scenes from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Here we could break away from the normal footage and use comical cartoon illustrations that would help self-parody the chosen subject. I started planning the images I needed into quite a lengthy document. This would comprise of the guide scenes as well as other images used sparingly throughout the movie. It also included a set of playing cards used in the Valiant card game during the introduction of Tarquin. I would later use Casting Call Club to recruit my artist, Rosalie Yaris Otero. Rosalie created a lot of the line art based on the templates given, but where there were no set guidelines, we got some interesting characters. The gangster duo that would be used in the RMT scene came across as something straight out of Looney Tunes. Noob 1, Cactacular, the Campers, and the Hungarians are some of the other noticeable entries, all of which had a unique flair to them. The construction working lemmings that appear in the second guide scene would also go on to be one of my favourites. In December 2021, I would start to get more involved with the animation side of the project, and started to experiment. I was able to use the same tweening techniques to move body parts to simulate walking, or waving. This was done first by saving the body parts as separate files, and then adding them into Sony Vegas on separate video tracks. In this example, we can see the torso and head, arms, upper legs, lower legs, and tail. We can rotate a body part back and forth like the legs to replicate walking. We need to set an anchor point for the leg. We can now rotate around this point. For the lower leg, I would copy the same keyframes as the upper legs and later adjust. I would adjust the angle of the lower leg to be straighter when the leg was being placed forward, as if it was looking to make smooth contact with the floor. When swinging the leg behind, the lower leg would swing higher. These would often need a few corrections on their position as they moved back and forth. A lot of these body parts had to be altered so that they were longer, so when a body part arcs away from the main body, gaps do not appear. Characters with clothing close to a joint, such as a boot or belt, would help disguise this further if this part was placed on the track above. Once we have the character's body parts moving, we can group the layers on the timeline and then use the tweening on the parent track to move the character from right to left. I wanted to show how I coloured some of the images. For time purposes, I got involved in colouring a lot of the line art within the animation scenes and the Valiant cards. There are better ways to do this, and perhaps if I had time to learn a new image editing software, it may well have been more prudent to try something else. In this example, we can see the Shadow Lord's card. First, I'll remove all background elements. I'll now ungroup the Shadow Lord layer. As you can see, this shows all layers within. There are quite a few. We can turn the line art off to show the elements behind. These look to be well placed. When adding the colour, I'd create a smart polygon with up to 25 points. I could then adjust the polygon into the desired shape behind the line art. The line art on top would then mask the edges to the shape behind. Not only are there multiple parts, but multiple layers. I'd often add textured layers on top, sometimes with a gradient effect. The Valiant cards are shown both within the Hitchhiker's Guide to Vana'diel and the planned sequel, 6 Days and 7 Nights. In truth, this was another project, but I wanted to include it within the movies. This game would play out like Final Fantasy VIII's Triple Triad, where each card has a side value and can be used to take a card with a lesser value. In Valiant, you would also be able to use items, skills, or magic that could make each turn more dynamic. At least, that's the theory. I have made trump cards before and will be producing these in the same way through a website called Make Playing Cards. I also plan to have a beer mug to go with the iconic song within the movie, Liechtensteiner. During the initial planning stage, I came across a custom designer, Master Mug, on Etsy. With this you can imprint a word or phrase of your choice. I asked Rosalie to draw this for me and for this to be used within the movie, before buying my own model, which now looks identical. I'll be making a few of these mugs and card sets, along with the Blu-ray DVDs, so please get in contact if you're interested in purchasing any of these. For now, this ends the chapter, and we'll pick up again on the final chapter, bringing the project to life.